mess with anything.
Third time is a charm.
Yep. Even if it's not like the... I like it. I think it looks
I do.
good.
And I'm going to have to I'll keep, because I can see really good when I look at this without my glasses.
I know. But then you get when you're engaging, which you should, you put it all the way over there, around the corner.
I know.
So,
but
it is what it is,
I think right now we have 0 watching.
No, there's one.
There's one?
Yes, I see it right there.
I'm going to say that it's...
Let it go over here. Hey, Kitty can see. Let it go. 3.
Hey,
thank you for noticing that. Thank you. That
hey,
means the world. Because today I was the one that was like...
I was going to say, I know we were trying to think of a name, and I was going to put third time's a charm or something like that. Something corny.
That would get... People get mad though with those kind of click views, but that is kind of good, Sean.
Third time's a charm?
Yeah. They would be so entertained.
We can say...
Trying to figure out what that means.
Or we can say ATX and Tomahawk. We did it 3 times.
Oh,
in 3 days or something like that.
Oh.
But
it was 10.
Because I only
10 times in 3 days.
I only have
Just joking, totally
I only
kidding.
have 2 vertebrae that work.
Oh my goodness. You have more than that. We finally don't have an animal sitting here.
He's right there trying to look. He wants to come up. I know.
Here's the thing right now. He can get up here, but his nails are trimmed.
And he'll start to squirm.
No, they're jagged. It takes a while for him to even out again.
Did they do his nails? They did his nails?
Yeah, they did his nails. So he's literally normally it doesn't matter, but he's scratching me. But I can put this blanket here so that he can do whatever he wants.
Well, if he's persistent, I'll let him up. But I want us to focus.
Hey, Angela.
Focus on the live stream.
I love the back jokes. Thank you. He's the he comes up with the cool stuff.
Well, and the hashtags too to try to get a bigger audience. Have I worn my new glasses on a live stream yet? Have I
I think so. Do y'all think you should hashtag Bigfoot, or do you think that the Bigfoot community would get mad? The legit Bigfoot community.
I don't know if they'll answer, but my thing is people who believe in Bigfoot and the Bigfoot community, they would probably want to know who this person was.
And what they...
Yeah, where we want to go to that place where he said Bigfoot was.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
You think any of the people in here want to come visit where Bigfoot is?
Does anybody in here believe in Bigfoot? Did you guys see the stream last night where the guy that I work with said that he saw Bigfoot more than once?
What I meant to say, which I didn't say last night, was when he said that the guy assumed was Mama Bigfoot bucked up against whatever.
Yeah.
I said some mother was protecting her kids because some guy's creeping on her thinking she's Bigfoot.
That's kind of true.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you think you're looking at Bigfoot is like something out of a cartoon, you're licking an ice cream cone and then your mouth drops open and the thing falls off. And you still sit there like this.
And there's some creeper.
He did, and then you look over and you're you've got your 13-year-old or whatever, and you look and he's and you're that's probably what happened.
Even though you're a Bigfoot, you're
but you're
looking at us like you've never seen a Bigfoot before. Stop looking at us.
But I mean, that's what probably happened, because clearly he probably really does see something and thinks that's what it is.
And there's an outside chance it might be something that we see as very normal. It's
6'9" Sean, not 6'10", not 7 feet 6
and
foot
he could tell.
9.
He said Presley, he could tell. Hey,
Presley. Here's the thing. Why is it always and no offense if you're a man with long hair or you're a hippie, but it's always the long-haired hippies that come on and go, yeah, I saw him out back by it's never a corporate, worker who's I went to visit a cabin with family and I'm here to tell you, Bigfoot was there. No, you never see that.
Because he loses his job. A hippie
but do you see what I'm saying? You never see that.
But this guy was a car salesman, though. He wasn't super weird. He's just a little odd.
I think he does think he sees something that...
He says it so matter-of-factly.
Yeah.
So matter-of-factly.
I think that he sees something. I don't think it's a figment of his imagination, but I think his imagination plays games with him. Trust me, if you want to believe something so bad, you will. I still believe in Santa Claus, and I'm serious. I do.
Let It
Don't
Go's
say
like, I'm dead. Like, you gotta read
and
the
I
chat.
love it. I think he's always in a sled above the sky.
I mean, you saw the stream last night, right? Let It Go. You heard the story. I mean, and the thing about it, what is that it's genuine. It wasn't like he came in snickering and like, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you. He said it like he couldn't wait to tell us. He didn't want to tell the rest of the people, but he wanted to tell us.
Because y'all are so accepting.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
probably why.
Yeah.
I would be too. With working with dementia, nothing surprises me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
You're just like the one that were pretty. I don't know if it was dementia. This was a while ago, and she would see fairies and stuff outside. And I didn't argue with her. Her daughter would argue with you and be like, "Mom, there are no fairies playing in the yard." I was like, would watch with her. You know what I mean? That's my big theory. Join them where they are. Look for fairies. Sit down, get a couple of cuties like the oranges or a couple popsicles. Watch the fairies in the yard.
I have chickens in the yard.
Is there a chicken community?
I'm
backyard
sure
chicken
there's
coop?
we need to get in. We need to merge like the drama community with the chicken community.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Isn't that funny? I didn't know. I was watching, so I don't watch that
Hey, Karen.
as a rule, that real effing drama that RSN and Katie do. I really don't. But I was watching DC Media Girl today. Yes, I have been watching her. I find it interesting the way she speaks, not saying anything about her.
She is a good vlogger. She is.
But apparently there was a panel. We're really late. It's like over a month with MFW, Real Stream News, Onision, Rich Life, and Foodie Beauty all on one panel. And they're like, yeah, duh, that happened.
How come nobody told us about this? That would have been worth the watch.
I saw people talking about it a little bit, but today I was like, oh, wow. And then DC Media Girl said that Onision was probably the most level-headed one there. And I was like...
That's a
Onision's sitting there going...
statement.
Yeah. Did you see it? Okay. Yes,
T-Bird.
Presley always lets us know when she's regular, and that's very important. Sean likes to talk about that too.
T-Bird says you two rock. Thank you.
You know what? And I'm not bragging, except I am. You know what Sean made for dinner? You know those little individually packed filet mignons?
They're bacon wrapped filet mignons, and I was you can go ahead and talk.
No, it's okay, but baked it perfectly.
But Presley was talking about in the comments what she made for dinner.
Hey Karen, by the way, I meant to say that, but I'll say it now so that then I can try to. And he cooked it. He was making it in the oven, so I was like, ugh. You know, not that it needs to be on the grill or anything like that, and he was making instant mashed potatoes. Was not aware you knew how.
I doctored them up.
And he made yellow squash.
Summer
he boiled
squash,
it and the steak was amazing. It was tender. It was cooked just right, pink in the middle.
How often do I get home from work before you? Maybe once a week, right?
I have lip gloss on my teeth.
Like maybe once a week. Lately, the way my schedule's changing, it might be a little more.
No, yeah.
But about once a week right now. And I tell her that I will cook dinner. If I get home in this house first, I'll figure out something. That's kind of
cool. You know, he did it. I mean, I ate it in like record time and was like, wow, that I knew it would be good. I just didn't know it was going to be that good, but it was very tender.
Presley says, listen to this. I know you guys saw it because you guys are in the chat. I'm stuffed. I made my bacon spaghetti and pooped. Worked 12 hours. Hope all are doing great. It's hotter than a two-puckered billy goat.
But you're right. Sean, when we first met, and I don't want to gross anybody out, said that the best you'll feel is right after a huge BM. And I'd never really pondered it.
She said poop meaning tired, though.
Oh, well, we're talking about poop now.
Now we're talking about poop.
No, but like it does, if you're regular, it makes a huge difference. And I thought that was funny, and I didn't consider it until I've met people who aren't and people who are. And then you eat trail mix, and not you.
She's like, Sean.
Trail mix, and
trail
then
mix
you're
will make you regular.
Thank you. Okay. Everybody I said I love this not wearing foundation thing from the
Thank you, T-Bird.
The tan. Hey, Whiplash. So every weekend this summer, I'm gonna make sure I keep
But
it.
you know
It
what
only
else I
takes me
noticed?
so like I don't have to put makeup on.
You know what I noticed too? Like once you, like we work outside with the in the chicken coop and we work in the yard, and it's when it's hot out, you can't stay out there real long, you know, or drink a lot of water and this and that. But when we were at the beach for a week and we've got this sun, I was out there for an hour and a half in 90 some degrees, and it was hot. It was definitely hot, but it was different. It was okay.
It was a little bit
yeah, I
different.
could deal with the sun a little better. I just kept drinking water while I was out there, and we got a lot done. We got a fan.
We're like we've already told y'all, but we're gonna tell you again. Go ahead.
The fan you told me?
We talked about it yesterday when
Did
we
we tell you about the fan? We put a fan inside the chicken coop. Anyway, we go out there with plans to do certain things, and we're like, man, it is hot out there. Let's get this done.
Presley.
And then we end up doing more than we said we were going to do. But
We did. And we did a really good job. And now this weekend we don't have very much more. And then the next weekend I peaced out to Texas.
she's going to go to Texas
For
to
4
see my stepson, to see her son.
Um,
I couldn't go. It's okay, and
I know. I'm gonna start using sunscreen.
I mean, I got her ticket today, and
Hey, Mama loves Gigi.
I didn't know if you knew that there was no doubt in my mind, but that she was going to go. See, we just spent a lot of money in the Outer Banks and kind of blew our wad a little bit. So the rest of the month, you know, normally when you go on a week-long vacation, you kind of cool it for a while. But she's got to go to Texas. And it just happened to be the same month where she's got to go out there.
So I'll just miss the Friday and the Monday from work. And then it's going to be a quick one. Presley saw your shirt. So anyway, it's going to be about 4 days. And then,
Presley got me that shirt.
I know.
The Mike
I
Trout
remember
shirt.
that.
I almost wore the other shirt you sent me. I wore this one, but I almost wore the other one, Presley. I should have.
But she saw you wear it yesterday.
Yeah, the Mike Trout one. But she's also remember the long sleeve world champion ones that I got?
Yes,
That's also
She sent you that?
She sent us that.
I guess I got that one.
I think you got me this one, yeah.
So there was another question, and I'm not doing this as a dry bag, but someone had asked us why our Amazon wish list is still not working. Can someone tell me how to make it work or what it says? Because I've done it and I've shared it and I've made it and then you click on it and it doesn't.
I don't know how to. I've never.
But can someone tell me how to do it?
I don't know how it works.
Hey Jenny, I haven't seen Jenny McCall in a while.
Hey Jenny,
how are you? I saw. Did you hear? I like watching. I don't even know who feels about her or whatever, but Lindy Live. I don't know who she's good with, who she's not good. That matters. She does short, to the point, little roastings, so I usually catch those. Hey,
who was she roasting today?
Well, I turned it on just in time. It was only about 1:58 long, and she said, "Witty, you're a bitch." Isn't that what she said?
You're a effing bitch.
Oh, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just like anybody who can get it done. And I have to admit, hey, Thomas, I've kind of gone down the Ernie Shell hole a little bit.
I don't know any of this stuff. See,
you know Colonel Shell.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. I've kind of started. Today I was watching him, and I tell you what, if you didn't know the backstory, you would think he's talking like real stuff. Not about like his military service, but just in general that he's saving the world. And
didn't he say he was going to be on TV or something like that?
Yeah, he said they're about to release his interviews that he's done. I don't know how much of it is real. Like, I know that he's not obviously that kind of national news thing, but
I'll listen to it a little bit.
He lives in Louisville.
Louisville?
Yeah.
I'll listen to him if he's
I like Louisville.
I'll be able to tell pretty quickly. Not to say that he's not authentic, but normally
he is very.
A veteran can pretty much tell pretty quickly.
I've seen some of the Al shows the best clips of his. When he got out of the clink, he was in a van with the guy, and the guy was just talking on his phone. Nice guy. He was a black guy.
That's the Colonel?
Yeah.
That's him. Okay, yeah. He's
Thank
got,
you, Karen. Karen's
he's got
always
stuff
like,
wrong with him.
but what was I saying? I don't even remember now.
The Colonel, he got
Oh.
got out of jail.
And he was sitting in the car, and there was a black man
Uber
talking
driver.
on it. No, it was another passenger. It was a passenger and him, and then the Uber driver. And he started getting paranoid. I don't know why. And he started saying, "Please don't shoot me," to the guy next to him. And then the guy next to him goes, "Someone get me out of this crazy."
He said, "Get him out of this car," or something like that.
He said,
oh my God.
She shows like the best clips. Today he was raising money for mattresses and.
Well, his mattress was pretty nasty.
No, that was Roger Brown.
Oh, that's Roger Brown. Okay.
Savage Live showed a clip of that she took of, I think it was Evil Abe's panel, I think. And he had gotten something, and it was Roger Brown. Those of you, most of y'all probably know Roger Brown. He and Shannon, like at some point she must have reviewed him and he got mad. So when they go back and forth with each other, it's hilarious. This kitten is playing on Roger Brown's disgusting bed. He has no sheet on it.
I thought
Roger, I'm just saying what I saw. If you watch us, this is what was on there. And this little orange kitten, about 8 weeks, 10 weeks old, is playing with a dead mouse on his bed.
Dude.
I'm like, and Savage was so funny. She's like, rigor mortis even set in on that mouse. So anyway, he might be watching. I just report how it went. Right? I missed that. Not all who wonder.
You can look right there.
I know, but I try to keep up with it because I don't want you to have to feel like you can't put it down if you want to put it down.
Well, see, like, okay, so when I wear these glasses,
They're
like I don't
very
have them on
sexy,
right
by the
now.
way.
Thank you.
I meant to say that when you said earlier, but I thought it would sound corny if I said it right then.
But thank you. It's okay. You're Mrs. Curly. You're allowed to.
I'm allowed to be corny.
So, but I can't really see you guys because I'm very, very nearsighted. But I can read real good, like this.
But the thing is, okay, so we did the responsible thing. We went and got his eyes checked. Hey, what did you say?
Not all who wonder.
He
is here.
So he got his prescription for the glasses, and they set him up with some contacts, and then he comes home, and now when he wears his contacts, what can you not see? Close up or far away?
Close up, like I can't read very well with my contacts in.
And so right after it happened, I said, well, then take those contacts back and tell them they've done the wrong prescription. And he was like, well, no, they may be like that. I was like, you had contacts for a year that you could see out of.
But far away, I can see better than ever.
It said for an astigmatism.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, and you don't have that, dude.
I don't have astigmatism.
If that is the case, Sean, they need to exchange them out.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying you really don't have one.
The problem, I don't think so. The problem is that when I'm looking at paperwork and I'm looking at things like, I can't see it, like when I'm getting everybody's stuff ready.
Astigmatism.
I need to be. So it's like the first time I got these, I wore them to work. I had and so I'm trying to look at the paperwork like this and I can't see it. But if I do this, everything that's on my desk, I can see it better than if I have contacts in.
Yes, Jenny McCall. Yeah. Well, we need to just go by there and say, are these contacts what match that? And if they say, yeah, then that's one thing. And if not, we'll be like, no harm, no foul. Get rid of the one with the astigmatism.
But the doctor, I wear my contacts like constantly. Like whenever you don't see these on me, it's because I'm wearing contacts and I'm supposed to take them out. They're extended wear. They're in disposables. I'm supposed to wear them for about a week and throw them out.
He doesn't even take them out at night.
I wear them for like 3 months at a time until my eyes are like, I take them out because my eyes hurt. And then I'll wear this for about a week.
Didn't you take only one pair to Iraq?
I took one pair of glasses. I had 2 sets of contacts that I took to Iraq.
And you wore the same
But I wore the same ones the whole year I was there. More than a year.
But that's unbelievable.
I would take them out, but I'd put them back in.
Yeah, but still.
It was crazy.
I was like, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe that. I was making sure that wasn't a tick. It's just a little thing from his haircut. He never has a tick, but Sean knows I'll dig for some fleas and to make sure there's none there.
Mandi is I wonder if any of y'all are like this. Like,
See, don't sleep in them, Presley says.
I know, but I do. But I won't wear them for about a week. If Mandy thinks she sees a flea on one of our pets, it's over. Nothing else will happen in her life until she.
And the other day he had played in the yard, and then he got into the truck, and some had actually jumped on him, but he's on the pill, and I also
He's on the pill.
He took that flea
Sawyer
pill
Brown's on
when
the
we
pill.
went to the vet, and then I put Frontline on him because I was like, well, I don't know when that other one wears off. So there was I saw them running on his leg, and I saw one. When by the time we got back, because I couldn't find it again, and when we got back, they were nowhere.
Because we weren't going to the store, we were going for something completely different. But because he was like in the car and she thought she saw fleas on him, we changed the mission and we had to get Frontline immediately. That's like en route to wherever we were going.
They didn't have any. They didn't have any flea combs, so Sean's like, just get a lice kit. It's the same comb. It is not the same.
I thought
they're not the same.
The metal ones, the metal lice,
but
the really nice
to
ones.
PetSmart.
I thought that's what was in there, but they were the cheap plastic ones. So
then
off
we go
to PetSmart we go.
We went to PetSmart and got the metal one. And so the whole way home, I'm sitting here with the flea comb like this, and Sean's like, check by his tail, and I'm checking, brushing down there, and there's none. So I guess the flea thing works. If they try to bite him or whatever, they just immediately jump back off.
Yeah, Jude, it is really, really hot here.
Miserably hot.
What do you call it? There's the temperature, and then there's the heat index. The heat index here was at 2:00 was 105.
That's why
now she's from Texas, and I have there's people that know that she's from Texas that I work with and around, and they ask me, they say, your wife's from Texas? I was like, yeah. He says, what does she think about this heat? Correct me if I'm wrong. You'd say that this is worse than Texas.
Yeah. Today the humidity was at like 63% or something like that. You would walk outside and just, not only could you barely breathe, there's so much moisture in the air, but you immediately just start soaking yourself.
115 yesterday, Presley said where she was. Yeah. And I worry about the chickens. I do. I've said this time and time again. If I had it to do over again, I would have stuck the house a long ways along the side of the porch.
Yeah.
Because it's
if you put the timer back on the bubbler, when it goes through and gets cool like it did when we were gone, it will cool the area around it, because that's a big shallow thing.
Yeah, that one corner will.
Yeah, when the wind hits it, it's gonna cool down.
And I did turn the fan on this morning, and I had it pointed down inside.
Bravacto, that might be what they gave him. We went and did his checkup, and he got his shots. And because I can't leave that vet without it being $400 for whatever they do, he took the one flea pill, and then they tried to get me to get the next one. Super expensive, and I was like, no, I think I've spent enough. But he did get it there.
Whiplash
said for it there.
102 with 90% humidity in Indiana, and that's
crazy.
That's ridiculous, especially for Indiana. Indiana's supposed to be. I've been to Indiana in, say, like February, when I went to Neg's house 3 years ago, four years ago.
This is what I'm telling you. If he doesn't stop, he's got to get down. He's just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Anyway, go ahead.
And it was cold. February.
Did you, when you watched that thing where it says that we met in the green room or whatever, did you finish it till she finished talking about us?
No, did it go on?
But it actually, don't put him back up. He'll be fine down there. So I watched it. I saw that, because I've been watching them. I saw the one to the part I came for you in the green room. They all know that. And then at the end she said, but I hear Sean is a very nice guy. Who do you think that came from?
It came from Ron. It came from Neg. See? Here's the thing, Negs and I, the very last thing that he ever texted to me is that he said, we're real life, friends. He was very, when I was hanging out with him, he was very clear that he doesn't have friends, like really good friends, that he's kind of a loner. And, but he did say, like, there was some drama going on and he mentioned, that, hey, so the thing is Ron didn't appreciate us going on Katie's stream. when we first met, going on Katie's stream. You all know the history with him and MFW, and I understood that. So he had a stream where I came up, and I guess he said we were clout chasing or whatever. That's okay, because I get it.
We were, aren't we all?
Yeah, but I get why he said it, because I was on the stream and on panel with somebody that hurt him. Off of camera, I mean, like I said, I've been to his place a couple of times.
No,
It was funny
no,
because when
I
like
know.
DC Media Girl was like, I've met his mother. She's a lovely. Yeah, I've met Negs' mom.
That's what you
And
said
I'm not
yesterday,
romantically
too.
linked to Negs, but I too have met his mother. I too have met his sons, and know their names and all that. I have met his late son's mother.
You said all this. Yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't say it yesterday.
I think it was a few days ago. Go ahead.
But
Finish.
so it doesn't surprise me
Lunar
that
Phoenix will correct you. Remember Lunar Phoenix?
yeah, Lunar Phoenix. Have I already said this?
Go ahead.
So it doesn't surprise me that he would have said that to DC Media Girl, who would have said that again. We try to keep the private, real life stuff off of here. So anyway.
No, it's cool. That's
Yeah.
just when I watched that to the end, I don't have any affection for either one of them. I'm just saying what I watched.
Yeah.
Sean has his, there's certain people we don't ever talk about him, but
No.
But I think it's a stand-up thing he did to say you weren't a bad, or maybe she said you weren't a bad something, and I was like, I'm just saying what she said, not good, bad, or indifferent, because they've both. I mean, people feel about him how they feel about him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'm friends with people that he's not friends with.
See, Angela's, you're right, Angela. And I noticed that she has to kind of open her, when she's going to like, maybe even give Katie some kudos or something for that stream. I noticed that she gives this monologue to start it, saying that, she's not saying that Katie's a good person, that Katie's done that. And then she goes on to review the stream where Katie rips Foodie Beauty a new one. And a couple times she was like, get him, girl, or something like that, or yes, fine. And I'm like, but that's not what you said.
I had a hard time listening to her Ron reviewing her stream from when they were.
It gets a little confusing.
Because it's like, I don't know, I couldn't do that to you. We were never feuding, but I don't think that I could.
Well, you said yourself, if I were to do it, even in retrospect, you were like,
it would be, yeah.
That would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't do it.
And I don't understand. I don't know what the history is with why he hates MFW so much. I've heard, different things, but I don't know what the falling out was. Or maybe at one time I did, now I don't.
The bottom line, and without getting into it, because I do know that Ron doesn't like it being talked about, so I'll keep it as brief as I
That's
can.
What I'm saying.
It all had to do with the way Katie was accusing Ron of exploiting his son's death, and she just drug him about it and drug him about it and drug it about it and put him through a lot of pain. And so I got, when he took exception to us going on Katie's stream, I get it. I get it. It was personal to him.
Now you know.
Yep.
Angela says bingo. There's a lot of things I think I've known before about stuff that goes on in the community, but over time I forget the details. Not just about that, but stuff in general. Like I'll think, like two people will be like, now what happened with that?
Yeah.
Sometimes when someone hates me and they make it clear they hate me, and I'm like, what did I do?
And I'll be like, well, this is why they.
But when Ricky Rooney said, and he's totally open about this, when he was like, she's still a Judas or whatever, I won't forget what she did. I was like, no, he needs to clarify, because I've done some really fucked up shit on YouTube, so he's gonna need to like be more specific. When it was the good old days, back when it first got started, you know what I mean? Before, just the drama community, when it first got started, before they started going in real life and all that stuff, it was like anything goes. You say whatever you want, you don't. I know, Angela, I remember that.
When you
that sucks, and that's not right.
If we look on other streams and other people in other communities, and you look at how easily they get spun up and how they're going to call the cops and they're going to do this. I remember back to when we were all like that, and how it's most of us that are that have been around don't get as easily spun up as we used to about things like that. And it was crazy how easily, I mean, that's what panels were for, to just yell back and forth and drag each other. That's all they were.
That and it was
That's
the
what
first
happened,
time
yeah.
like that had ever, I'd never heard of haters and stuff like that. I didn't know celebrities have people that
Trolls.
target them just to mess with them. I didn't know all of that. But I was like, oh my goodness. There was something that I read one of the comments. It was,
What did she say?
wait, Leticia just posted a video. I'm sure it's great. Oh, that's what she was doing. She was doing this over and over again today, Sean. She was like cussing people out and doing the sign
of the cross.
Yeah, and then she the only two prayers she knows are Hail Mary and the one that Archangel da da da.
Our Father?
No, she knows that one too, but the one that says, "Please be with us
now and at the hour of our death." That's
No, she doesn't. That's the last rites. Right?
No, but no, that's
He's a good Catholic boy.
When you're saying the rosary, that's the prayer to Mary.
Yeah, but this one is, someone will know here, and she starts getting all demonic sounding when she says it. You know what? Well, you went to the things and learned the readings and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's more than I know.
The olden days, yep.
Yeah, that was like when there was still some shock value to what we buy. Presley delivered the closest. Oh man,
we got cars being delivered.
But yeah, so that was like
love you, Presley.
It was all new people saying stuff. The in real life stuff when it got to that, but like when the exposés, like when Bunny was on there and she got exposed, not Buns, and she got exposed not being that little.
See, I never knew about that. I didn't.
And that was when Yaba countered with so tell me about this Will whatever Paris something the whatever that she supposedly stole, like the money that she stole or whatever.
I knew nothing about that even now.
And it all and I was like, I didn't know when Yab asked that, like, so what about, I was like lost, and then it just kind of unfolded, and that whole Amy Slayton hating triangle busted up.
I remember when
Amy May?
Yes.
Amy May still rides with MFW.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Well, I remember the first time.
Not Amy Slayton. I'm sorry. Amy May.
Amy May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had started questioning what I said.
And when Buns did those little videos with the little rabbit in the wheelchair and all that, remember all that?
Yeah.
I saw that the first time I watched that was at Meg's house. And he was like, this is such and such. And, we supported her and give a couple dollars to the Patreon and all that for her. I knew nothing. I didn't know what she looked like or anything about it. But that's funny. So she was trying to perpetrate herself as like some.
She was sitting like on the panel, only having half her face shown. He is determined.
Yeah, you're not getting up here, buddy.
Have her face shown. And I guess she was typing as Bunny Rabbit while she was pretending. It was crazy.
but that's actually pretty funny when that stuff happens, though.
Well, it was just. It was the first inclination anybody had that. I guess people knew about catfishes and stuff like that, but it was the first time everyone started getting, exposed as not being who their profile said they were or what they looked like. And it was like all coming out at the same time or whatever. And meanwhile, Amy Slayton's moving on to the freaking stratosphere with, like, she left us.
Yep. She went on to have a television
show. You know what? Y'all can just... I never really was a hater of hers, but she was like... she left all of us in the dust. She's having babies, making money, doing a TV show. Look at him. He's like, no.
I was always more friendly with Tammy. Like...
she's not doing well.
Yeah, even before they blew up and were on TV. Tammy, she just never wanted to do the YouTube thing. She never wanted any attention.
I don't know if her current troubles kind of stem from just the sudden notoriety or I don't know, but she went to rehab for, I guess, alcohol, and she keeps choosing men that are very mean to her.
But it also seems like the show kind of shaped up Amy. You
Yeah.
know, with the surgery and, you know,
she
she has the relationship and the baby, and Tammy kind of didn't get any of that.
She's got,
you know,
she's really, I think the people that like that show and like them really like her. Like,
Yeah.
she's endeared herself. And so has Tammy. When they start fighting on that show, and I know it's real because I've seen them fight on YouTube.
yeah.
That's priceless, especially if, you know, Tammy needs to go to her, she had surgery, she didn't qualify. She has to go to her doctor to check in, and she's gained weight, and Amy will be like, how did you gain? And she'll be like, shut up, Tam. I mean, shut up, Amy. But,
it's like who are that couple, Eileen and what's her name?
Julia Zelg.
Hello, sweeties.
I don't know.
I like Eileen.
We've talked about it before, but I don't know if
you guys ever watched
it.
Julia Zelg? She's in a massive age gap relationship. Her wife is in her 60s, I think.
I would spit on Letitty and not think twice about it. What? It's just she's really got a few people that don't like Leticia. That's what they call her, Letitty. She's gotten, I don't understand, and because I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, what are, like, when she's just talking and thinks, you know, whatever, like, and then she slips into an anger and starts saying, what is that, borderline?
I don't know. She can
do it all in one conversation. Nobody's talking to her. She can do it just all by herself.
It's a dissociative personality. But that is odd when that happens.
Like, she can completely go from one end of the spectrum to the other. Hey, Andy.
What's up, Andy?
It's good to see you. He wasn't here yesterday, but we're trying to make a habit of it, Andy.
Yeah, we're trying to get to come on more often.
So most of you said so on the 25th of July, what is it, like a grand jury, or does she have a trial starting? What is it? Like, is a prosecutor literally, because here's what she said. She's mad because the public defender, the sheriff or whoever said, the public defender will talk to you the day of court, just before court. And she's like, that's not fair, and that's not, you know, whatever, and it should, here's why, Leticia, because that public defender is going to go in there and say you're batshit crazy, and the judge is going to release you to do some sort of mandatory time in a psych ward. You
haven't paid for that counsel.
You think the public defender is really going to go in and defend that absurdity you said was the R word? What he's going to do is go in and say, I mean, look at what she's doing. And the judge will go, okay, I'm remanding you to the da-da-da-da-da for, whatever it is that the public defender had. Because here's the thing. I don't think she knows that what she's constituting as the R word is not true. I don't think she knows. And y'all don't jump me, but when you talk about knowing the difference between right and wrong, I don't think she knows that it's wrong to say, I charged him with this because he didn't want to be with me.
So then
Karen knows.
Then you've got to, it begs the question of not sanity or insanity, but whether they can decipher right from wrong. That is
I don't think she can.
That is the linchpin on so many cases and keeping people from going to jail and not.
Karen says the public defender has it all figured out before he walks into the courtroom. Believe me. And that's what happened with old girl when he said the public defender took over and said, no, sister, you're doing your 2 days.
Old girl meaning whatever. When I stopped paying for her attorney, after a certain amount of time, her attorney said, look, you can't do what you're doing. You're not paying me to defend you anymore.
And he doxed our divorce attorney.
And your ex-husband's attorney happens to be a good friend of mine. So once he walked out and didn't represent her anymore, and she had to go with a public defender, suddenly that wasn't being, you guys know what I'm saying. Suddenly it was like, you're going to do this. She went in and you're going to do that. You're going to do this.
The public defender was like, this circus is over. You're doing your 2 days. You beat someone up in court. We're not medically saying that you were incapacitated. The fact that you only have 2 days, do your 2 days and be done with it.
I don't have time to sit here. You don't, like a public defender, you're not paying him for his time.
Thank you, Levi Lace Lover. You both look really good and healthy.
Thank you.
Moon Bear says, I think she absolutely knows. I think she's deliberately conniving and manipulative and has gotten caught up in all her lies and her ego won't allow her to back up. I mean,
okay, but
you might be right about. I don't.
But Moon Bear, say you're a public defender.
No, you're good, Moon Bear. We were.
When you have, there's your bedtime reminder. So how many cases does this public defender have at a time? 20? I don't know.
You're the
Karen,
pro at that.
Karen, you might know how much a public defender's
hers does not
docket.
rate on a.
They don't have all this time. They're not getting paid for. So yes, she might absolutely know the difference, but this public defender is there to represent her.
20, Moon Bear says 20 at a time. Maybe.
Yeah. So what? I mean, if you are in good conscience as to do your job as counsel, you have to come up with something for the judge that's in the best interest of your client. Yeah, I mean, she might absolutely know. But for instance, when I'm paying an attorney $600 or $700 every single month, that's not including court, to keep a crazy ex out of jail for hitting somebody in an open court.
And the thing is she just happened to hit the right one.
Right.
She would have done a lot more if it hadn't have been a creep.
Or if she would have just been semi-sane, that would have been.
Oh wow, Andy.
That would have been. She wouldn't have, and in that case, would have gone away. Anyway, but
no, that you're right though.
We're paying that guy for his time and his work and his effort. Public defender don't have time for that. They've just got to go with the best way to get this case adjudicated and moved off the docket. That's all they're supposed to do.
Andy was talking, he was adding to when he worked with the police department, we would prosecute our own tickets. And I met the magistrate before court and we had everything worked out beforehand. Yeah. That's my understanding. They meet in chambers. It's already, the courtroom's a formality, right?
Well, that's true. Like I can go back to other cases if we wanted to really go back. With Crystal Ehart,
exactly, Karen.
Those attorneys, that DA and our attorney, they were talking before they would come and talk to us. And yes, they had it kind of all worked out, even before court opened up. These divorce cases where, you see on TV where they're going back and forth and this and that, most of the time, unless it's very high profile and they can't agree on something, they already know what they're going to do before they go into court, unless it's a Johnny Depp thing or something.
I remember the day that we went to court, I'm not going to rehash again what was said, but it's something that happened beforehand. So they moved everyone, they split the docket up into two different things because of COVID. The only court that was in session was the domestic civil court. So they split it into two parts and we got sent to the other courtroom. And we saw our attorney in the galley, that's what you call it, right? The galley, a couple of times.
Because he's got other cases. He didn't talk to us.
We didn't even know if he recognized us.
We didn't even, because we didn't see him at first.
Yeah. So then right before, I would say two people before us, all of a sudden he's on our row and he's like, and we go outside and sit there and it took 45 seconds. He didn't need any more time than that. And didn't need to meet with us beforehand because he knew exactly what was going to happen.
He knew what was going to happen.
He was going to go make her look like a moron and be done with it.
Yep.
And that's what happened. I won't get into that again. But that's why we were like, well, he hasn't even briefed us. He hasn't whatever. So we go out there and because she was representing herself, she asked me if I'm having an intimate relationship with Sean, I have to say yes. And he goes, adultery is just under a traffic ticket.
Yeah. He was like, so do we lie?
So he said, you say whatever you want.
Do we lie? He says, no, you tell him. If she asks you if you're
it didn't even get to that.
But he was like, who cares? She's going to be.
But he did say, plus I'm probably going to object and get that. And so it was but it was funny because I was like, I've never been, I'm telling the truth. I'm going to say we do it often. We do it all different kinds of ways.
We did it before court. We're going to do it again after court.
I'm just kidding. But that's what he said. He said, everybody has this image that you're going to turn in. He's like, you can go do it in the middle of town. Both of you. You might get a decent, and I was like, okay. But it didn't come to that. So
remember when we asked him, what are you gonna? I mean, what's your plan? What are you gonna do? And the first thing he said was, it just depends on how mad she makes me. How mad she makes me if she pisses me off. And she eventually did piss him off.
Did.
But
she went all shark eyes on him and.
But what I've always said to anybody, my little piece of advice to anybody that's got to go to court, get a lawyer. If you can, whatever you got to do to go to a lawyer with $500 or whatever, just give
It's
them
not
the
as
money
expensive as you think it is.
and just do it, because they all know each other and they know the judges, and they go in there, and when you say, Jane Jones, represented by whoever, and just do it.
Plus,
It's worth it to have an attorney.
Karen told me, judges get really pissed off when people defend themselves. They see it as wasting their time when they're their own counsel. And I've heard it from more than people. They think that it's kind of an insult to the process. So I don't know. And there's certain things you can't represent yourself in.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Angela just said rage stream in 3, 2.
I know.
1.
Well, and the thing was, it was a civil filing. So even if the judge somehow believed any of it, they're like, he lives in Texas. He's going back to Texas.
Yeah.
He hasn't been here. But I was like, and then she was trying to, it was like, if it was legit a criminal case, the prosecutor would be prosecuting it.
Right.
It wouldn't be some bullshit
Right.
filing that
That's
nobody
exactly
pays any
right.
attention to.
Key thing.
People don't get that.
The key thing is if your case is taken by the district attorney, you got something going for you. But when they say, sure, you can have your day in court, who's your lawyer? And you're like, well, I'm going to represent myself, or I have to go get a lawyer. It's not a strong case. Yeah, you're exactly right.
But I think also what happens, though, is the police do the investigation, turn it over to the prosecutor. The prosecutor looks at it and says, yes, I can get a conviction, or no, I can't get a conviction.
Right.
And that's what, so you may have a criminal, not you, but someone may have legit committed a crime, and the prosecutor can still say, I'm sorry, it's not a winning case. Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. But I thought people think that when they say you're going to go to jail because you talked about me on YouTube. First of all, you'd never go to jail. Look at Amber Heard. She's got to pay a lot of money, but she's not going to jail. It's not.
Like there was recently where Savage had to go into court as a defendant in one of these type of cases. I don't know all the details. I heard her talking about it. I was lurking in order to stream.
Yeah.
So if she went as a defendant, she had no worries, really, unless the DA had taken the case like it was the state versus her. But then
she's in North Carolina.
Right.
It's the same BS filing that everyone does on each other.
You really don't have much to worry about as a defendant. I mean, but then, to countersue, you don't really have a strong case to countersue back either. But they'll say, our attorney told us, everybody's got, if you're really going to do this right and with due process and fairly, everybody's got a right to bring anything in front of a judge. They do.
And a magistrate, if you come in and say, I'm in fear of this person, the magistrate's going to give you your day in court. As a matter of fact, you could go back in a month later after the judge dismisses it for nothing, and you can do the same damn thing again in North Carolina. You can go before a magistrate again and say, I'm in fear. And you have North Carolina's crazy.
And by his own admission, he said North Carolina's got different laws.
I said, well, what if she does it again? He was like, well, you won't have to come, but she can do it as many times as you want.
That's what he said. I said, what is the chances of her doing this again? He said, well, the chances are that they know her and they're going to tell her to get lost. And I think that had happened. But he said she can. There's nothing. The problem is that there's no repercussion in that state for false claims, because we had to fly all the way from Texas and sit there and acquire a lawyer and spend airline tickets. We were like, okay, so what can we get back? Can we get this money back? And he says, there's nothing you can do. You're going to go back to Texas, and if a different magistrate decides that if she comes the next month with the same stuff, we'll be in the same boat.
He said the magistrate shouldn't have signed it when it was Texas. It should have never been a. Anyway, all of that started because we were talking about Letitia going to court and whether she knew right or wrong. I've been watching what y'all are saying.
But Letitia is different because she has gotten into it with the cops. She has gotten into it. They're
But
really
why
serious.
did they drag her out of the shower with conditioner in her hair? Oh, because the manager said she couldn't come in, and she went in. Tell me,
Anyway,
hey, oh hell,
yeah.
tell me if I'm right. These people know.
Hey,
So
oh hell no.
I've been meaning to ask y'all if this is how it happened, because I wasn't watching the whole thing. So she was going into Anytime Fitness. That guy is the one that had told her she couldn't come anymore because she was abusing the admissions. He told her she couldn't shower because he had deactivated her key card. She went to take a shower anyway. They called the police, and because she had a warrant,
That's
when they
why.
responded to that,
Yep.
and that's what. So they've been looking for her.
Yeah.
Am
Not a
I
really
right?
smart criminal at all.
No, but I mean, am I right? That were they like? Well, they were. Oh, I thought that was a buffering thing. That's what it, right? And they were
I think you're on the right track.
warrant.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track. Like, say that
That's
it
how it
was
happened. Okay.
somebody that there is no warrant for, and they're causing a problem, and they're at the gym, and he wants them to leave, and they don't leave, and he calls the cops. They're probably not going to go to the shower. They're probably going to wait until they're out.
They didn't come in. The female kept saying, "Turn it off and put your clothes on." She refused.
Oh, well, that's
and they
different,
said,
too.
"You don't want to do this." And it was a female cop who handled it. But ladies, can I just say, talk about nails on the chalkboard. She had to go to jail with conditioner all in her hair. Can you imagine spending a couple 3 days with dried hair conditioner in your hair?
Did she say that too? Did she mention that?
Yeah, she did. She said he wouldn't even let me wash my conditioner out. And I went, okay, well,
fair enough.
She should have said, I'll get dressed. In fact, I'll run out naked. Just let me wash the conditioner.
I think one of the things...
she didn't get to take a shower for like 3 days with dried conditioner.
And Letitia, when you listen to her, one of the things that's
she did. She
amusing,
refused.
one of the things that's amusing to listen to her is she will exploit something like her rights were violated and
as
this
a
and that,
disabled American citizen
or whatever. But most rational people, first of all, people don't have to shower somewhere other than their residence. But we have enough sense to, but she is completely being slighted every turn in her life. Everybody's treating her poorly. Everybody's violating her rights.
What's funny is she turned her phone on to record the incident. And I think they figured out pretty quickly, and they knew she was YouTube things. So, but I think Miss Moonbear had that on a thumbnail when she reviewed it. The female cop's over the stall like this in her blue gloves going, "You don't want to fight this. Turn the shower off and put your clothes on. We will take you out." And she was like, no, you're not going to do that. And she was like, okay, I'm coming in. And then I think she got with the program. The man was never going to come in.
No.
This burly, well-ready woman was going to go in and take. So I think she realized there wasn't going to be a man's face that was going to come in for her to try to say something. The other thing, did you hear the other day when she's been talking about this police officer who forced her to give...
Yeah, I did hear that.
And so then she's explaining how it went down.
She said it so matter-of-factly.
She goes, so he comes over because I don't know why she called. She called for an official matter, but the person showed up. She said she was handsome, and the next thing she knows, she was... And I'm like...
She said something, but it was something. And then he said this and did this, so I had to do this.
But she didn't even say it like that. She just said that I told him he was handsome, and the next thing I know,
She said I had to. She said the next thing you know, I had to do this. I had to give him.
And I don't think that y'all might be right. She knows exactly what she's doing, but she'll say y'all shouldn't say that because she filed against those 2 men, both men that she had been with in that week span.
She filed
both men. She accused of it,
yeah.
And she goes, but look, all the other men I've been with, I've never filed on them. So don't you think? And it's like, okay, but 2 men in the same 5-day period off of a Bumble site, that's, whatever. And so, but then it turns out that cuddle site that I'm the only one that really thought people went to look for that she really was offering cuddling services. I really thought that she was that... I don't know. I can't stand her either. Trust me.
I remember when she was playing that, I was doing something different. We were laying in bed and it was on, and she was doing her thing. She was talking like she always talks, and then she says, and I thought he was handsome, so I had to give him head, and it was like, and I just dropped my phone like, did she just say it like? And I had to, and blah blah blah. And it was like, so that was her reasoning. And then afterwards, she was appalled at him.
And it shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have, allowed
Like,
her.
oh, you want to do this? So I'm going to let you do this. You're right. You're right. That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? But
it doesn't just spontaneously happen. There has to be like a moment.
Yeah, that's what she calls it, fellatio. When she, I want to sometimes ask her if you can just take 2 words out of your vocabulary, fornication and menses. If you can just not use those words, I would be. She never says. She calls it by the actual.
I thought she did say that word though. She's like Let It Go said she never said head.
No,
she said something. She didn't say.
No, I think she did say fellatio. That's what she usually says.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look. You may be right,
but it is still the short e sound syllable. So
and she calls the same action on a female by its name, the cunnilingus. Oh my God! Don't ever say it again. Why does she say those words? She said because she learned those words at the Catholic school.
There's other.
Were they staying the? You didn't go.
I don't go to Catholic school, but I guess that's the.
You did
the
actual.
Night. Did I go to Catholic school?
I'm just kidding. No. We're so.
I went fishing.
No, but I mean, like when we say stuff like that, it's like, where does that even? My dad said that one time. He was joking around and he was like, y'all, are you going out tonight? And I was like, yeah. And you'd have to know my parents. He goes, because we're doing Pocahontas and John Smith tonight. And I was like, which was not happening. But when he said it, my mom goes, yeah, whatever.
Oh my God.
It was so funny.
But
the AP video, I laughed and cried so hard. Let it go. I don't know. I didn't. What?
Yeah, my pink life. I might think that. I don't think that. She said my pink life was like. I don't even believe that about the officer. I'm with her on that. She said it
or
so
it didn't
matter of factly,
right then.
Or it didn't happen exactly like she's saying. But I mean, maybe she just has to accuse him of something. I don't know.
I'm happy to report, y'all. Hold on, let me find the other one. I'm not gonna. These are acrylic fingernails that I've had on for about probably 2.5 weeks. I wore them to the beach. They held up to the last day. It was wonderful. I'm glad to report that none of them hurt. I was able to get them off, and now I can get a full set of new nails on Friday. They don't have to fill it, pull it off, soak it, nothing. Go ahead.
There's other words that she says. It's not really in a sexual act, but she uses a couple.
She'll say in that way.
But there's a word that's she uses that we all know what the word means. We just never.
But I was taught by my nuns. That's what she says.
Yeah, I know.
And she says the nuns taught her how to brush her teeth and the importance of it, and
she does have a fascination with that.
She has a real fascination with it.
Her value, if you watch her clothes, her value of the condition your teeth are in.
Yeah.
It's like if you.
And she can't decide whether or not Jason Wallace was well endowed or had a cost. She does say that.
A cost?
Everything is he accosted me.
That's right.
Remember when she said she was asking for a product in the grocery store and
she's hyper intelligent. You're right.
The
and her pheromones are overpowering.
The stalker said that the stalker, not stalker like she thinks everybody is, but the stalker stalking the shelves had to put his hand in his pocket because he pitched a tent because she was just so enticing, asking for something where it was.
Oh my God! But that was the. Like one of the very first times I ever saw her, she was like, "Cause I'm a cute girl, and I'm a cute girl, and people like to, they like to talk to cute girls." But my pheromones, I mean, I just go in there, and my pheromones are overpowering.
I'm kind of curious though, because y'all seem to kind of have insight, and I guess I don't have. I don't like her, but I don't know. But why is it that she, when she talks about Jason Wallace, because she's pregnant and it's his baby, he should be with her, rubbing her feet, cooking her dinner. Right? That's what she says, rubbing her shoulders, letting her relax. And I'm like, let's say that he had bought your line of bullshit, that he believed that number one, you were actually pregnant, number two, it was his. He's not gonna just all of a sudden turn into your simp. I mean,
there was a
yeah,
and
right,
but.
It's not a baby, I don't think.
But I think that she has a fantasy. I think that's part of it, is that she's in a relationship where someone rubs her feet and does this and that. I think she just has a fantasy about being in a stable relationship, loving relationship, and that's what she visualizes.
You know that she says she has a reproduction fetish. That when she thinks of the thought of her and Jason reproducing and how it happened, she pleasures herself because she's got a reproduct. What did she call it? A fetish with procreation or something like that. What remember that when she said it?
She's got a fetish for procreation. That
Yeah,
just means she likes
and it's
them.
no, but that's what
it means.
No, but like when she thinks about the chemistry of reproducing with someone,
I think that she over
breeding fetish. That's what she said.
Yeah,
It was something like
most of us like to breed, but the thing is I think that when she looks at, I think that things that are feel good or whatever, like I think she's just over. I don't think she understands how to rationally.
Yes, Jude.
I don't think she knows how to process those things. It's like there are people, and I've said this before, that have certain pathologies where moments of calmness and moments that are not full of drama are painful. They're not comfortable.
Yeah.
To people.
We can see that with a lot of people with borderline.
You see that,
yeah.
I think with her, when she talks about being with somebody, I mean, it's supposed to feel good. I mean, you're supposed to like it, and I think that freaks her out.
Yeah.
I think that it freaks her out because she does like it, so she calls it a like a fetish or whatever. But it's just it's kind of normal, but just not to her. She doesn't internalize it as a normal thing.
No, you're right about that. I don't. Sometimes when I ponder, but I've never seen many that can go from a serene situation to pissed off when nobody's talked to him. She's not even lied.
But if you see it, and I know someone else that's like this, like when things they'll sexualize something, and then on a dime, they loathe it. They don't like it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
like people get into situations,
where
and then when the situations start to get real, they're appalled. They push it back, and it's.
I think that's kind of fairly common with a lot of those types of mental illness.
I think it's common with certain mental illnesses.
You brought something up about like the calmness and they don't like it or whatever. I remember when I got sober, this wasn't the 10 years ago when my last drink was, but I was trying to get with the program in Virginia, and I had gotten some time together and worked the steps and what have you. And I remember one day I was sitting in the house, off work, the kids were at school, and I remember wanting to crawl out of my skin. I remember thinking I was gonna have a panic attack. I couldn't figure out what was wrong, so I called my sponsor and I was like explaining it, and she was asking me questions, and she said, it's because it's calm and you're serene and you don't know how to not live in chaos. So when the chaos is gone and everything's calm and you don't have anything to derail or try to save or damage control, you don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And she's not a doctor, or she wasn't a doctor, but she was like, that's why, alcoholics want to take a pill and call it anxiety in this situation to numb it, because they don't know what it's like to feel calm.
People don't, and if people don't know what certain people or whatever, they don't know how to climb into bed and not have a million problems or a million things of drama and just go to sleep. And I'm telling you, when you get that way, it was just because of the life I was living, the relationship I was.
But there was a couple times I was like, it's because it's calm.
Right. That's exactly. But once you start to live with that, and you can do it, and you don't have eyes in the back of your head, and there's not a million bills to pay, and there's not, it starts to feel good, and then you start waking up feeling good instead of waking up anxious.
Yeah.
You got to get used. You got to get used to it.
Yeah.
You got to get used to doing it. It feels pretty good. Then you can start thinking about, what do you really want? Where do you want to go professionally? What do you want to do? How do you want to build your life? I spent 10 years in spinning wheels, and trying to just keep the head above water, and it was so unpredictable.
Yes, oh hell.
And now what we've done with one another just in 3 years has been, I was at a point, I would say 5 years ago, I never would thought I would live like I'm living. You just can't. It just wasn't possible.
And we've together worked hard to accumulate some stuff, but it's mainly just you didn't ever see yourself being stable, right? Isn't that what you said?
Well, there was
going to work,
always
coming
something.
home,
It was the unpredictability of someone else's behavior. And how much of it was embarrassing, how much of it was make you feel ashamed. I mean, you just didn't feel good. And I had to build certain walls and build different strengths at different things, because if I really looked at it in reality, it wasn't anything really good. It wasn't. And I think that, people go their whole lives, if you look at how much does Letitia, we say she really believes it, but what does she really think about her future? I mean, what does she really think about? I mean, she's living in a car. And every time she gets an opportunity to live back at home in a bed with her mom, it has to be full of drama.
You're right, though, because she never talks about her views for the future.
No,
it's very
it's very reactive. What's going to happen tomorrow?
That makes sense.
And you guys ever notice the difference when after she gets a little bit of AdSense, like after the 21st, her disability, but then didn't she get AdSense for the first time too?
She might have.
And I mean, it can't be.
She said it was $400.
It might be, but it's not thousands of dollars. It's not like a pension or a paycheck. It is a few hundred, and it's almost like her life is completely different. She's eating, she's got yogurt or whatever it is.
Well, yesterday she was down to her last bowl.
See, and it's like what? It's
her family's like, Mom, go get her shit.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
who was saying that? I was the breeding fetish. Someone said something.
$400. That's what she said it was. And other people were saying there's no way it was $400. When you take into consideration how fast she grew, her views and her sub count, it's possible that she got close to that. I mean,
Let It Go says she gets juicy. She uses the term juicy. I'm looking back at that.
She talks about her crusty panties all the time.
But it's right. I mean, but I was waiting for I could go back and say.
She does.
Juicy.
I didn't realize that.
That's crazy.
Why did she record that baby shower opening thing with no audio? People were taking guesses. Is it so her mom wouldn't hear? Maybe she's not supposed to stream in the house, and or record in the house, and her mom maybe so if she could. But I think her mom watches what she posts, so I don't know. Well, I guess if she's already filmed it, then her mom can't do anything about her uploading it because it's not live. That might be what it is.
That might be true.
I bet you that's what it is.
But I think she does I think she's been restricted from going live.
I do too. Well, she's been live a couple of times, but she gets shook because she takes a lot of hate, and rightfully she should, for the things that she says about her unborn child. But she doesn't know how to handle it. She'll go, you are mentally distorted. You are mentally ill. And the people are in there going, you're mentally ill.
But she gets irritated. She's sitting there.
She gets shook too easy.
And her e-bagging is it's
it's
see it
fault,
before, but she'll say, you guys just, remember when she was all freaked out about her Amazon wish list and people, I'm gonna check let me check my Amazon wish list again. And she'd check, and I didn't get anything, and people are gonna buy, and it was.
I think she has to be at her mother, and I think part of it is her mom wants her to stay there to make sure when she does. I don't know if her mom believes she's pregnant or not, or if she is, but her mom wants to make sure that when she delivers, at least it's someplace safe.
She's a mom. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't know her mother any more than the fact that
she filmed the heck out of her the other day.
Yeah.
She was in a muumuu. Wasn't she in a muumuu, you guys? And she said, that's my cup. Sawyer loves my cup.
Sawyer is
we'll be jumping off in a second anyway, because
he just
watching it. Yeah, see, that's the thing too. Like, she'll be talking about something that, even though it may be like rude, wrong, whatever, she's recording and she's making this statement, and then all of a sudden she'll go, and we know that they're watching me. So we know that the feds are watching inside my house and stuff. And it's like, I know, I shouldn't have thrown it to him. So,
He doesn't understand.
but do you see what I'm saying? Then she goes into her paranoia thing, and it's like, is it an act because she's being too calm, or is she truly schizophrenic? I mean, it's so strange to me. I can only take, like someone else was saying, I can only take her in small doses. Me too. Definitely small doses after she swung her food baby in a striptease.
That was was crazy.
You know, her mom was like, what? When she uploaded it. Sean's like, if you need any pointers how to deal with it.
Somebody send me.
You pretend you're okay with it.
Somebody send me her mother's number. I can.
You pretend that it's not embarrassing and
she might want to start her own YouTube channel, like a
I want the brother to.
Yeah, I know he was.
The brother was like, she goes, you're gonna hurt me. He goes, what are you talking? And he does that thing where he pops his hat on and off, like, you know, yeah. And he was like, and the mother's like sitting there, and he's like, oh my gosh. And then she's like, you're in that heightened state. He's like, what does that even mean?
You probably need to go back to jail.
Yeah,
I haven't been to jail in 9 years.
When's the last time you've been to jail? I've been before, after me. It was pretty. God. I only watched a little bit of it. It started to make me a little bit nervous. I was watching it on home from vacation.
Oh yeah.
Or on the way, one or the other. Probably on the way.
It was on the way.
Yeah, and after I was laughing at him giving it to her, but then it started making me nervous just because it was turning into a domestic.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to watch it.
It was a domestic.
Yeah, but I mean, after she frustrated him to the point that he wasn't going to hurt her.
And then he left,
being
right?
Funny. He left, and the mom was crying.
I know. And he gave up his room for her.
And it's like, that's what happens. You and I don't want to, she said herself she's borderline, and all I can do is look at the symptoms of bipolar or borderline personality disorder and look at hers and say, you know, what may or may not be similar. And it appears that it says that drama and chaos follow the person wherever they go. Any situation that they go into, they're like just a little tornado that brings drama anywhere. And that makes a lot of sense when you look at it this guy's already been, this troll right here has come in and said that so many times.
He says, hey baby girl.
Look at his username. Don't read it out loud.
Oh my God.
If I were to guess who it was, I'd say it's Evil Abe. But can someone hide it all the same? That would be my guess. I don't have any, but looking at the name and what Evil Abe likes to talk about when he comes, right? It's kind of funny.
It is.
It looks, someone said,
hold on.
They may be spamming it with 18 troll accounts with the same name. I don't know. Anyway. It used to come in
about 9 people.
I know. It used to come in all the time. Where were we guys when it would come in and start saying that? I think it was before we moved here.
Yeah, we really haven't had many trolls.
No, but do you remember that one coming in?
Since we've moved to Georgia, we haven't had that many.
I know. I like the username. I don't even.
For you.
Why 9 inches?
I mean,
what a random like. You know what don't say anything about anything. It's inappropriate.
See, I was about to make a comment.
I was like, no, it's inappropriate. But anyway, he looks at what they say and I look at the name.
I know, she's looking at the name, I'm looking at what they're saying.
We're gonna blush.
I mean, it's pretty normal. Anyway.
She knows full well, Sean, she bucks the system daily. Are we running behind?
Are we what?
I think, were you talking? Oh, you were probably talking about Leticia when I was reading about the troll. I'm sorry. What were you saying? She's responding, I think, to something you were saying while I was like, look at the troll.
I know, because I have to scroll down about, 3 pages.
We're going to get you a new phone. And actually, it's hanging right here. I'll get, hey, Andy. Look at Andy.
Andy,
keep in mind, Andy does not take any mood altering anything. This is all Andy all the time. He's so sweet.
Oh, by the way, the trash is tomorrow morning, so I got to remember to take it out.
Please, is it? God, tomorrow's already
Thursday tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, I don't get nothing on Friday because I didn't work last week.
That's all right. I get paid on Friday.
Stop. See, that's none of y'all's business. But all of a sudden it occurred to me, I was like, oh, I won't.
See, when we go on vacation, I get the paid vacation, but
I don't.
she doesn't. We got this.
No, I know, but it's funny because what I do, and I've posted, I tell you, I spoil the hell out of him. I cash my paycheck on the way home, and we, do
I
what
tell
we
her
need
if
to
she
do
gives
with
me-
it,
if she
and
gives
beyond
me-
that, it's fun stuff.
If she gives me her paycheck on Friday, and I decide if she has to work on the
It's
weekend
so funny
or
because
not.
I do get it. It's like both of our money, but it's funny because I come in on Friday after I, cash it or whatever, and I'm like, here you go, and he counts it.
And I go,
I don't know whether you're really even counting it, are you?
well, kind of, but
Turning
I'm like,
it the right way, and then he's like, you
I'm
don't
like,
have
all
to
right,
work tonight.
You don't have to work tonight.
Thank you, Jude. Yeah, it was like, but we opened, it was BB&T. I opened an account there because they kept saying, we won't have to charge you, we're going to have to start charging $4 when you cash the check if you don't. And it was every Friday them asking me. So I finally was like, okay. And I pulled Sean in there. We went, we opened an account. They turned into Truist.
Yeah.
And then nothing that we had from BB&T worked. It was like the bank they had the BB&T still on the outside. The ATM said Truist, and the sign by the street said SunTrust.
And they would
I
say,
was so confused.
when I went into the bank with her one time, they were like, if you have a Truist account, go to that line. If it was BB&T,
we didn't
go
even.
to this
I'm
line.
like, I don't know. It could be. Then one time their system was down, and anyway. But it's Truist.
It's Truist.
Actually, the ATM said SunTrust. The building said BB&T.
But the bank is now Truist or something like that.
Yeah, and it I'm like, so there you go. So we opened the account so that we could save whatever.
Well, I think everybody's saying good night.
Oh,
We're down to like four people here. Nothing.
well, we also have to go search for Ellie. Not
We have to
search,
get
she's
Ellie
at the
in.
door. But anyways,
3 nights in a row, people.
see if we can do 4. I know this
Maybe.
is just enthralling, but we have a good time.
Yeah,
We may be boring people to tears, but we have a good time.
we do. But
It's your bedtime.
it's my bedtime. The reminder was like an hour ago.
What it is it's like a guardian feature on the phone, and it's nobody that I'm responsible for, but it's like the trusted backup source for the mom whose child has, not child, but she's a child, the phone, and then it's got a guardian thing on it, but it all backs up to each other for whoever's the guardian ID. So it's the child gets a bedtime reminder to their iPad, and I get it too at 9:30. Yeah, like great. Rest the rest of your vertebrae, Sean. Let it go.
Who said that?
Let it go.
Jenny said, yes, I hit it. And it was like, yay, Jenny, good night.
Hit it.
Yeah, I don't,
Good for you, Jenny.
I don't know what they're talking about, but
Oh, we got some nice people.
we do.
Thank you, Jenny. Jenny's been such a strong supporter. All of you have, but I remember Jenny all the way back when we started streaming together. Live. Anyways, you guys.
Yes.
Have
Anyway.
a good night. Hey, Presley, we were just signing off. Have a good night, Presley. Get some sleep.
She's like, I'm back.
I know. Have a good night,
We gotta go.
Karen, and Presley, and mods, and all you people.
Love you guys.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hold on.